Hi, I've got a turbocharger from a Mitsubishi 2.8 here, double cab. The actuating unit is not releasing from the turbo. It is really tight. I've knocked against here with a brass drift. All around, no luck yet. So now I'm going to finally see if I heat up the one housing, and I'm going to heat up the actuating side of it. It doesn't seem to have any particular springy things in it or anything like that. Anyway, I'm hoping that if I heat it up on the one side only, that the expansion and the contraction after when it's cooling down again will make a difference, because there's probably rust buildup that's holding it now in the gap, so it's become really tight. And I'm using just a propane and a handy gas and oxygen. Same thing, propane, handy gas. And oxygen is a lot cheaper to run than the acetylene and the oxygen. The flame's not as hot, so it's for lower temperature applications such as silver soldering possibly, and bending and so forth. Expansion, which often gets done also on a plate and in the oven, in the kiln. All we needed now was some nitrogen on the other side. Probably crack it. Not a bad idea sometimes to keep the one side in water or something. Then you get more chance to only heat up that side. But then you need a bit of a stronger flame, else it'll stand there for a very, very long time. So I'm going to take my glove off and just give this a... It's still quite cold there. This front end is quite warm. That will already make a difference, obviously, in expansion. But whether we're going to be successful is to be seen. I don't want to heat it up too much in one go, because I'm not really sure on this model what's all entailed in this actuating unit. I know there's a flap that I can see where the vacuum advance unit is connected to. A good old spit test. Not ready for doing steak yet. I suppose I could probably do steak at that temperature, I'm sure. I think that should do it for now. Let's see if we can get away with it. Let's do the spit test again. No, it's not that hot yet. Can go a bit more. The thing is, while I'm heating it, all the heat is being conducted into that part firstly, and unfortunately then also into this part, so this part's also going to expand. So there's a sort of a max best point, so to say, where that's now hotter and this is not that hot yet. So where you stop, it's about your best, unless you're going to start cooling the one side. Starting to sizzle, I think. Nah, hardly. I would ideally like it to sizzle it. But yes, let's first try it at this temperature. We're going to agitate it while it's cooling off. Firstly, I'm going to use the nylon. Great expectations. I'm using nylon because it's not that hard, so it won't crack these parts or deform them. I think there has been movement. I don't believe it. You can see on that side the gaps become a bit bigger. I want to work in here again gently with this little chisel. It's a nice little chisel. It once belonged to a VW Beetle's front suspension. No, that's not really effective. No. So that's also the kind of thing that will shoot things into your eye. Okay, now we're going to try that again. Concentrate on this side a bit more. Things are happening finally, it looks like. Now I want to move to the nylon table so that when it drops out it has softer landing, hopefully, and doesn't slid off the table. There we go. Oh, those fins are not supposed to bump like that if you wanted to recondition it. They're very fragile.
Nice.
The lighting is a bit dark. Let's have a good look in the light and see how they look. They have got that odd forward bent curved shape. There's been a great amount of design that went in. I remember early days, the guys were really quite excited about still I think, about optimal turbo designs. Complicated subject, lots of mathematics, etc. Hi, so now it's apart. We can see the mating surfaces. This shoulder fits inside there, and quite a few places where it meets. But you can see, if you look carefully, there's a buildup of carbon or rust, or maybe somebody actually applied some kind of glue in here that we're not aware of, and maybe that's even supposed to happen. I have not seen it mentioned yet, but that was rather tight. So there we go. And a little bit of heat and so on helped us on that one. Thanks. That's the story. So this is another method to get something that's really stubborn apart. When there are two parts involved, try and expand the one part so there's movement between the two metals, and then agitated I find is the best while it's cooling down. Sometimes it works better once it's all cooled down again. But I found that sometimes there's a sweet spot in the cooling off process, and then you start getting things to happen. Of course, you can also impact the metal by having an anvil on the bottom and then giving a good bump from the top and then the other side in all the directions you can. So you're basically shocking the metal, and that helps. Sometimes a lot of tapping will loosen some of the particles, and a bit of compressed air. Always wear glasses when you do that one. Over and out.
See you next time.
See you next time. Enjoy.